Well, hello hyperspace, my name is Davontos and it's time to get hyped because this is some epic Infinite Warfare gameplay using my epic Diamond Volk. That's right, I'm getting closer to unlocking Black Sky, even though I kinda doubt I would get Black Sky because I like all of the Quartermaster camos, but whatever, this is some really good gameplay using a Diamond Volk. And in this video, we're actually going to talk about something that went down in Call of Duty World War II. Oh baby, you know what that means. So, they actually did something very similar to what Infinite Warfare did when it first launched. So, yeah, there are supply drops, all this stuff, and when Infinite Warfare first came on, about, I'd say, a few months along the IW's lifespan, they added this huge supply drop, that added, I think it was like 500 or 600 brand new items to the supply drop line. Now that could be a good thing, and it could be a bad thing. It depends on how you look at it. It can be bad because if you're trying to get duplicates for salvage, so you can spend those salvage and, new weaponry, it can be bad because now you have 600 new things to worry about, which means you're probably not going to get a lot of duplicates. But it can be a good thing because, well, you have 600 new items to collect, so if you're actually after all those items, well, you have 600 more. So it can be good or bad depending on how you look at it. However, World War II did it quite differently, and it's specifically I want to tackle the titles or calling cards, whatever you want to call it. See, they added some new character costumes, which is always nice to have. They added some new weapons, even though they said they weren't, but it's Call of Duty, so what else can you expect? And they added a couple of new emblems and all that stuff. But the thing I want to talk about are the calling cards or titles, whatever you want to say. I'm usually calling it calling cards. So let's actually look at the Infinite Warfare calling cards. It's actually right here. So really quick, before we get to the calling cards, these are actually all of the emblems, or at least most of the emblems from Infinite Warfare. I've been grinding up a lot of keys, opening a lot of drops, and so if you guys are missing some of the emblems, well, here they are, here's what they look like. So back to the calling cards, or titles. What World War II is basically doing is they're taking titles from that were in the game at launch, and they're just adding a golden border around it. And I actually see my emblem, or my calling card, at the very bottom right there, next to the, is that gothic lady with that big long cloak? That's my calling card. What they're basically doing is adding a golden border around it. They're getting so lazy. They're just adding golden borders and saying it's new, and they charge you for it. And people are just so furious about it because it's not new. It's the exact same thing that was in the game at launch. Now, it's understandable with camos because they look different, but if you just add a golden border around a picture that was already in the game and you just go on and call it new, for that you just add the golden border to begin with because what does it change? It's the exact same thing. Look at mine right here. Wait, what the? This ain't my calling card. This is completely different. There we are. That's my calling card. That's the one I know. So basically, what World War II is doing is they're basically just adding these golden borders around calling cards that were already in the game at launch, and they're like, oh, it's completely new. You gotta pay for it now, and people are just so livid, and it's just ripping you off. And that's not even get to touch the map pack. Now, we all know the first map pack that launched, it basically had 3 multiplayer maps, 1 war map, and 1 zombies map, so you get basically 5 maps. Well, the trick is, the war map is fine, zombies is fine, but you actually just got 1 multiplayer map instead of the 3, because they brought back Resistance, which was in Infinite Warfare, and the map pack launched on January, Resistance and Infinite Warfare launched around November, so technically you get it in Infinite Warfare on November, or October, something like that, and then I say 2 months later you get the same map again, so that's basically recycling a map that was recycled for another Call of Duty that was recycled from a previous Call of Duty, so they recycled it 3 times and gave it to you 2 months later saying it's new. That's lazy work. And on top of that, what was the new map? Was it Valkyrie? There was another map in World War II that was a remake of a map from Advanced Warfare. So you basically got 2 remade maps, which doesn't really count as new content, so technically, if you bought that map pack, you kinda just got 1 multiplayer map, 1 zombies, and 1 war game mode. And they charge you the full price to something as if it's completely new. You see what I'm coming here? Even then, as I said with the calling cards, it's the same thing. They're charging you for stuff that's already in the game. And on top of all of that fun stuff, the one thing that just really gets to me is in these supply drops, they add weapon variants, all this fun stuff that they ever promised they're never going to add, but they add it anyway because it's Call of Duty. And they said that, well, not said, they just showed it, and people are actually getting it from these supply drops. Now, you can get maybe different camos for your gun in supply drops, which is, I guess it's fine. It's been in the beginning since supply drops first started. And you can get these different dot sights for your, well, dot sights, and maybe it can be a happy face or a heart, maybe like a finger, which I guess kind of adds a little creativity. Oh, mama, there's something in them supply drops that they called pistol grips. Now, if you guys don't know, every time somebody's using any kind of firearm, whether it's an assault rifle or maybe an LMG or something, you can add a grip attachment. And in Call of Duty standards, what grip does is it's basically this little handlebar grip thing that goes under the muzzle or under the barrel or under the front stock of the gun, and you hold it to reduce the recoil. The gun kicks up as guns always do, and you just hold it and pull it down so the gun won't get enough recoil. They're adding grips on pistols. So you gotta think, just how powerful are these pistols that you need to put a freaking grip on? Are we talking about like Joker Magnum kind of powerful? Are every one of the pistols in World War II like 50 caliber Desert Eagle like pistols that they have so much kick that you have to put a freaking grip on it? And that's the fun thing, you can actually get those grips from supply drops. So I guess there's another thing for them supply drop guys to worry about. Oh, you gotta get them pistol grips alongside those duplicate gold-colored calling cards and all that fun stuff that's in World War II. So if you actually think about it, think about World War II now, just as a game and as a whole. They're adding so many things in World War II. They're kind of just milking this supply drop chain dry in a case that the full game doesn't even matter anymore. And I say this because Call of Duty is all about buying the game and buying the map packs, right? It's always been like that since Modern Warfare 1. And, you know, you bought the game, you look forward to the map packs. But if the map packs are actually getting to a point where the maps they gave you are just recycled maps that you played back in the day, then there's not really a point in looking forward to the map packs. So the thing that they want you to look forward to are the supply drops, but the supply drops are getting so cheap to a point that they're just giving you stuff that was already in the game that you got when you bought the game. So, yeah, Call of Duty's really money hungry, really screwing up, and it's not looking good from here. So let's actually look at Infinite Warfare, and let me actually say how Infinite Warfare is better than World War II. So my last video, a couple of topics back, I actually said that Infinite Warfare is worth $1 and World War II is free. That already gives Infinite Warfare a couple points there. But if we actually look at the DLC and how the supply drops are being handled, when Infinite Warfare adds new stuff on the supply drops, they make sure it's actually new stuff and it's not recycled things that you got at launch. Every single thing in the supply drops, aside from weapon variants, but they are weapon variants, as World War II has weapon variants, so they function differently from the standard issued weapon, which kind of makes it new. You know, World War II does it, that's fine. Infinite Warfare does it, that's fine. But Infinite Warfare, every single calling card in Infinite Warfare looks completely different, aside from like 4 that are just palette swaps, which basically means they just have different colors. It's like a geo wave. You have like a blue geo wave and you have like a yellow geo wave, but that's fine, because if you go to other games like Super Smash, for example, they have palette swaps. Yeah, you can have red Mario or blue Mario, so palette swaps are fine because everybody does that. And you can actually look at the map packs. Yeah, Infinite Warfare recycles a couple of maps, but they only do one, not the full map pack. So if you like this video, punch that like button with a mighty force. You can follow me up on Twitter at Davontos Man. And as always, I'll see all of you in the next video. Have a nice day.